Russia says Ukraine crossed the last straw. Now Moscow is warning foreigners to flee Kyiv before a new wave of strikes begins. Hypersonic missiles are back. Drones are exploding across the front lines, and the Kremlin is threatening systematic attacks on the capital. The question now, how far is Russia about to go? Kyiv is once again under the shadow of escalation. Russia is now openly warning of a systematic series of strikes targeting Ukraine's defense industry in the capital, while urging foreign citizens and diplomatic personnel to leave the city immediately. Russia's Ministry of Defense said,
"The planned strikes are retaliation for a Ukrainian drone attack last week on the occupied city of Starobilsk in the Luhansk region."
According to Russian authorities, the strike hit a student dormitory and killed at least 18 people while wounding more than 40 others. Moscow described the attack as one of the deadliest Ukrainian drone strikes in recent months. In a statement issued on Monday, Russia's foreign ministry called the Starobilsk attack the last straw.
The strike on Starobilsk is yet another blatant demonstration of the Nazi and terrorist nature of the Kyiv regime, which deliberately attacks civilians and does not hesitate to murder children in cold blood.
The ministry warned that Russia would now begin a series of systematic strikes against facilities linked to Ukraine's drone warfare program. According to the statement, Russian forces intend to target specific sites where UAVs are designed, manufactured, programmed, and prepared for use. Russia also claimed that many of those facilities are located throughout Kyiv. In an unusually direct warning, Moscow urged foreign citizens, including diplomatic personnel and staff from international organizations, to leave the Ukrainian capital as soon as possible. The statement also advised Kyiv residents to avoid military and administrative infrastructure facilities as strikes intensify. Ukraine has strongly denied responsibility for the attack on the student dormitory in Starobilsk. Ukrainian military officials said their forces had instead targeted what they described as an elite Russian drone command unit operating in the area. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha dismissed Moscow's threats and urged allies not to surrender to what he called Russian blackmail. Despite the warnings, more than 70 foreign diplomats visited a heavily damaged neighborhood in Kyiv on Monday to pay respects to victims of recent Russian strikes. French Ambassador Gaël Vessière said daily life in Kyiv continued despite the attacks.
It's a way to demonstrate resilience, and I think it's extremely important that we, around the world, support that.
However, Russia's threats are unlikely to be dismissed lightly. Since the Starobilsk strike, Moscow has intensified missile and drone attacks on Kyiv and surrounding areas. Ukrainian authorities reported that overnight strikes killed at least 4 people and injured more than 60 others in the capital region. Now, as Moscow openly threatens broader attacks on Kyiv's defense infrastructure and warns foreigners to leave the capital, concerns are mounting that the war is moving into an even more dangerous stage of escalation, with civilians increasingly caught in the middle. No breakthrough on the battlefield, only a fiercer pounding of Kyiv. But this time, the focus was different. Russian forces executed a high-profile hypersonic escalation early on May 24th, deploying an RS-26 Rubezh medium-range ballistic missile publicized by Moscow as the Oreshnik to strike the city of Bila Tserkva in the Kyiv region. The implementation of the strategic system was officially confirmed by Colonel Yuri Ikhnat, head of the communications department for the Ukrainian Air Force Command. The launch originated from the Kapustin Yar military test range in Russia's southwestern Astrakhan region. The impact in the Bila Tserkva district was captured on localized surveillance feeds, showing multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles separating in the upper atmosphere to cause a rapid succession of ground-level explosions. According to the monitoring groups, Russia unleashed at least 50 missiles, and some 700 drones towards Ukraine, with Kyiv as the primary target, marking one of the largest mass attacks over the last year. Ukraine said its defenders successfully shot down or electronically suppressed 604 individual targets, yielding an overall interception matrix of 55 missiles and 549 drones across the country. The bombardment ignited fires and heavy destruction across more than 40 locations in 8 districts of the capital. Residential buildings were hit across Obolonsky, Shevchenkivsky, Dniprovsky, Holosivsky, Solomiansky, and Pechersky districts, with parts of one apartment block reportedly collapsing in Shevchenkivsky. At least 2 people were killed, and 56 suffered injuries in Kyiv, with additional civilians hospitalized across the wider region. Ihor Smeliansky, the CEO of Ukrposhta, Ukraine's national postal service, said that the agency's headquarters on Kyiv's central Independence Square also sustained damage in the attack. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has condemned the strikes, stressing that Russia must face consequences for its actions.
Шановні українці, сьогодні відночі всюди, де потрібно, працюють рятувальники та необхідні служби. Всім, хто був поранений, цим ударом буде надана допомога. Це наш обов'язок, і держава його виконає. Я вдячний кожному і кожній, хто працює на місцях після ударів, щоб допомогти нашим людям. Зараз відомо, що постраждали щонайменше 83 людини від початку доби. На жаль, є загиблі. Мої співчуття рідним та близьким. Важкий був удар, ракет різних типів 90, із них багато балістики 36, 600 дронів. На жаль, не всю балістику вдалося збити. Найбільше влучань у Києві, і саме Київ був основною мішенню цієї російської атаки. Путін вже і слово «ура» не може нормально вимовити, шамкає, а все ще своїми ракетами перемагає житлові будинки. 3 російські ракети проти об'єкта водопостачання, спалив ринок, десятки житлових будинків пошкодив, кілька звичайних шкіл. Запустив свій арешник проти Білої церкви, реально неадеквати. Важливо, щоб це для Росії не залишалось без наслідків. Сьогодні кожен у світі, хто не промовчить, хто допомагатиме Україні, є захисником життя. Дуже важливо продовжувати працювати, щоб було ППО для України, зокрема проти балістики. Мати Росію поруч – це постійна загроза. Наші люди в Україні цю загрозу стримують і зупиняють, але світу варто чітко бачити, з ким маєте справу. 5-й рік повномасштабної війни. І від перших секунд це неспровокована терористична війна Росії проти життя. Ми робимо все, щоб встановити мир і захистити людей. Все. І важливо, щоб Україна була не наодинці. Потрібні рішення і від Сполучених Штатів Америки, і від Європи, і від інших, щоб цей старий орешник в Москві вимовив слово «мир». Дякую всім, хто допомагає. Слава Україні!
The attack came hours after Zelenskyy had warned that Russia was preparing a broader assault across the country, including the possible use of its Oreshnik missile.
Our intelligence services reported receiving data, including from American and European partners, about Russia preparing a strike with the Oreshnik missile. We are verifying this information. We are seeing signs of preparation for a combined strike on Ukrainian territory, including Kyiv, involving various types of weaponry. The specified intermediate-range weapons could be used in such a strike. It is important to act responsibly on air raid alerts starting this evening. Russian madness truly knows no bounds, so please protect your lives. Use shelters.
Russia first used an Oreshnik against Ukraine in November 2024 in a strike on the city of Dnipro. The missile was most recently used in an attack on western Lviv Oblast on January 9th.